In today's lesson, we are going to talk about geometric sequences and series, and this is the second day of this topic. So we are going to be able to write the rules for geometric sequences and find sums for geometric sequences. So the first example says two terms of a geometric sequence are a2 equals negative 18 and a5 equals 2/3, and we need to write the rule for the n terms. So again, the general rule for a geometric sequence is an equals a1 times r to the n minus 1, where a1 is the first term and r is the common ratio. So I'm going to have to write again two different equations. So I'm going to have negative 18 will equal to a1 times r to the 2 minus 1. And if I simplify, I get negative 18 equals a1 times r to the first power. The second equation will be 2/3 equals a1 times r to the 5 minus 1. So that's 2/3 equals a1 times r to the 4th power. So now if I isolate a1 from the first equation, I am going to get a1 equals negative 18 divided by r, or r to the first power. Now if I'm going to substitute this into the second equation, we'll get 2/3 equals negative 18 over r times r to the 4th. If I simplify by r, I will end up having 2/3 will equal to negative 18 times r to the 3rd power. And if I divide by negative 18 or multiply by the reciprocal of negative 18, I get negative 1 over 18 times 2/3 will equal to r to the 3rd power. If I simplify by 2, so I will get negative 1/9 times 1/3, which is negative 1 over 27 equals r to the 3rd. Now if we take the cube root of both sides, we are going to end up having r equals negative 1/3. So now if I simply substitute this into a1, I will get a1 equals negative 18 divided by negative 1/3, which is multiplied by the reciprocal. So a1 is going to be 18, negative 18 times negative 3, which is 54. So finally, I have to write the rule. So I'm going to go up and write the rule between the problem right here. an will equal to 54 times negative 1/3 to the n minus 1. So here is our final answer to the problem for the nth term. In the next example, we need to find the sum of a finite or finite geometric series. The formula is the sum of the n terms is a1 times parentheses 1 minus r to the n power over 1 minus r, where n is the term number and r is the common ratio. So we're going to look at the geometric series of 4, 2, 1, and 1/2, and we'll need to find the sum of the first 10 terms. So I'm going to begin with finding the common ratio. So I will write the common ratio is 2 divided by 4, any term divided by the previous term, which is 1/2. So the common ratio is 1/2. a1 is going to be 4. So now I can find the sum of the first 10 terms. So I'm going to say S10 equals 4 times 1 minus 1/2 to the 10th power divided by 1 minus 1/2. So I'm going to start the simplifying process. So this will be 4 times 1 minus 1 over, let me see what 2 to the 10th power is 1024, 1 over 1024 divided by 1 minus 1/2, which is just 1/2. So I'm going to simplify further and say 4 times, I find a common denominator. So it's 1024 minus 1 over 1024 divided by 1/2. So now I'm going to take the fraction inside the parentheses and multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to do 4 times 1023 over 1024 times the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2 over 1. And now if I simplify by 2, I am going to have, simplify by this 2, I'm going to have 512. And finally, I'm going to simplify by also 4. So I replace this by 1, and this will be 1, 2, and 8, 128. So my final answer will be 1023 divided by 128. So the sum of the first 10 term is 1023 over 128. In part B, we need to find n if the sum is 31/4. So again, I'm going to start writing the formula. The sum of n terms is a1 times 1 minus r to the n power over 1 minus r. And we know that our sum is 31/4. We also know that a1 from the previous page is going to be 4, and the common ratio is 1/2. So 1 minus 1/2 to the end divided by 1 minus 1/2. So now I'm going to start simplifying. So first I'm going to divide both sides by 4 or multiply by 1/4. So this will give me 31 over 16 equals, I have a 1/2 in the denominator and I have 1 minus 1/2 to the nth power in the numerator. So now if I multiply on the right side by the reciprocal, or multiply both sides of the equation by 1/2 times 1/2, I'm going to eliminate my 1/2 and have 31 over 32 equals 1 minus 1/2 to the nth power. And if I subtract 1 from both sides, I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, I will have -1 plus 31 over 32 equals -1/2 to the nth power. So now if I find common denominators, which is going to be 32, I will have -32 over 32, which value is again that -1 right here, right? So plus 31 over 32 will equal to -1/2 to the nth power. So now if I combine these two fractions, I will get -1 over 32 will equal to -1/2 to the nth power. Then if I divide by -1, I get 1 over 32 equals 1 over 2 to the nth power. So n is going to be 5 because 1/2 to the 5th power is going to give me 1 over 32. So the sum of the first 5 terms of the same sequence or series are going to be 31/4.